He is a freak in the sheets.
I don't know where they got that from. It was probably from Derek, honestly.
How'd Derek know?
How does Derek know? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight, season 15, episode 4. Before we get, y'all, we are still on the weddings technically. God. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, leave a comment down below. If you're with me and you feel like we could have left Morgan and Ben out of this season, child, we see each other. All right, so we are gonna start with Stasha and Nate. Why not? So, Nate, immediately when he gets into the room with Stasha, claims his side of the bed. And it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal, but I feel like it's a foreshadowing to the whole, like, I like things my way. Stasha has the same demeanor. This is gonna be an interesting dynamic. So they share their spousal expectations.
Just being supportive and understanding. A best friend. The looks are gonna fade, we're gonna have more wrinkles. Best friends, that's forever.
I think whether or not you agree on what the expectations are, it's a good conversation to have early on. They should implement this as the experts, like have little talking points to give the couples like they do in MAFS Australia. They give you these cards where you really have to be open and honest with the person pretty early on. This would be a great question to ask on day one. So in the morning, Nate shares his difficulties growing up as a mixed kid from a military background. And I'm sorry, the way that he talks about like him being bullied, him being mistreated for being light-skinned, I'm just like,
I moved to like a black community and you know, kids were like savages. Over time, it just became like a complex.
Why savages though? Like, I understand what he meant. Kids can be cruel. This is kids in general. Kids are cruel. Like, we don't know social ramifications. We don't know the depth of words when we're young. So like, kids are cruel, period. But to emphasize the fact that it was black children and that they were savages, I was just like, the verbiage. I don't like the verbiage, but then also being like an African immigrant myself, that's just a story I didn't resonate with. I just didn't relate. However, Stasha related. She said she had a similar upbringing in middle school or something like that, and then again in high school, but that situation is kind of tricky because she decided to stay at the school that she was at. You know, she could have went with her parents. She decided to emancipate herself. So yeah. Stasha meets with Nate's father and his friend, and they enlighten her on the fact that the power dynamics between them are gonna be a struggle.
I think you both are so independent, and you mentioned you're stubborn, and he can be stubborn as well.
Don't break his heart, that's all.
I got you.
I mean, he was looking for a boss babe, but I feel like he also wants to be the alpha in their relationship. Two alphas in a relationship, feel how y'all feel. There's gonna be a lot of headbutting. It's not to say it cannot work, but there will be a lot of headbutting. And these two are both headstrong people. They're both stubborn people. My way or the highway type of people. So it's gonna be a long road for them. Nate, when he's talking to Stasha's family, shares about how coming from a broken home made him really desire a certain kind of family life that he wants to curate for himself. And he also gets emotional talking about his upbringing.
I used to gravitate towards like my friends' houses that like had a nucleus, you know, mom, dad. I didn't know what a true family was until I got older.
Now, you know, the whole point of us doing these reviews is to read into things. Whether or not it was said explicitly, we're just gonna dissect potential, you know, narratives here. It's not to say that you cannot get emotional about your upbringing, you cannot get emotional about your father, but considering the fact that his father is still present in his life, I feel like that's a relationship that still has some wounds that he has yet to tend to. The father is also somebody who's a little bit, he's regimented, he's kind of rigid. That army background makes him less emotional than maybe Nate needs in his life. So I think that there's a need to mend that relationship, a need to nurture it. However, unless he addresses that, it's gonna surface in some way in the relationship. Not sure how, but the daddy issues are real. On both sides, the daddy issues are real because her dad isn't around. Moving on to Lindy and Miguel. Lindy's overthinking is immediately on display.
If conversation leads to sex, okay.
Is everywhere. Okay, hold on. Oh, something must be in here. Just like, I can't focus. I literally can't. Is there brighter lights in here? I can barely see anything. I just care about washing my face and putting my hair up. That's all I want to do right now.
With Lindy, it just gets worse and worse because in the morning, she's talking about how when they go on trips and stuff, her mind tends to race and go here and there and whatever. And Miguel, who was on a high meeting this woman, he was excited. He was ready to get intimate and stuff in the bed. Not anything crazy, but just to get to know her a little bit closer. She kind of killed the mood with her overthinking. He was waiting on her. She didn't come. In the morning, she's reciting all these things that she stresses about, and he's seeing her as literally a ball of stress, he described her as. And so it's interesting how in the beginning, he asked for somebody who would help him steer the boat. The friends were like, listen, you can't bank on that. And then here you have Lindy, who is very anxious. And she knows this about herself, right? At least she acknowledges it. But if you were looking for a co-captain, I don't think you found one. Lindy comes from an intense family just in general, okay? She's kind of intense. Her brother is also intense.
In the Bible, when you have sex with someone, you know them. That's when the covenant between man and God come together.
Like, I don't feel like there's anything wrong. Literally, the gospel calls us to share with the world, right? But I feel like it's not on you to impose your beliefs on other people, especially when Lindy herself doesn't subscribe to the things that the family subscribes to anymore. So them kind of trying to press Miguel about the religious practices and religious beliefs when the person he's partnered with doesn't even fully relate with that anymore. I don't know. I just thought you're coming out the gate a little fast. Equally on Miguel's side, his sister is also intense. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, she asked a stupid question. I'm sorry to all the people out there who believe in signs and all that stuff. I'm not trying to come for your beliefs. I just think the question itself was dumb.
I have a question.
Yes,
because
please.
I'm all into astrological signs. I'm not saying you guys wouldn't work, but I know it's gonna take a lot of work. He's a Cancer, you're a Gemini. They are not usually compatible from what I read.
How is somebody supposed to answer that? How is somebody supposed to answer that? It could be my ignorance, but I just feel like, okay, so on the chart, these two signs are incompatible. These people are just never supposed to try to see if something could work. Like, I don't know how she expected Lindy to answer the question. And I feel like, listen, I know that I'm a Sagittarius. Sometimes I read the horoscope stuff, the zodiac sign things, and I'm like, that is me for real. But I also don't think that that defines who I am as a person through and through. There are different factors in life that aid to the person that you become. So I'm like, sister, come off it, please. She does end up asking a good question about debt and finances, and it uncovers the fact that Lindy has a whole load of student debt, and the sister is worried because it doesn't really seem like Lindy's keen on resolving that debt.
I'm enjoying life. That's kind of like where I'm at right now.
As his sister, I don't want him financially strained or burdened.
So yeah, you have Lindy who is aware that she's coming with a boatload of, money to have to pay off. She's not actively putting herself in a position to pay it off. She wants to enjoy her life, she said. The sister is kind of like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but maybe you should be focused on paying it off. Miguel is like, listen, I'm not nobody's sugar daddy. He literally said, I'm not going to be your sugar daddy. He had a history of having to pay off another woman's bills. So he's like, nope, not doing that again. Yeah, Lindy, how much debt are we talking? Because she has her PhD. It's not no underground 30, 40K. It's probably in the six figures. Ooh. Another interesting point about Miguel that I wanted to touch on, it wasn't like too deep, but the brother had asked, what in your relationships do you feel like was your part in the demise? He couldn't give an answer. I think it shows a lack of introspection. He says that he was the one to end all the relationships because he ended up getting cheated on. Why are you always getting cheated on? And even your friends exposed you and said you saw those red flags and you decided to stay in the relationship until it was unsalvageable. You have a part to play. I need you to look within. On to Kristen and Mitch. Mitch finally gets to see Kristen with her bare face, and he claims he's more attracted to this.
I feel like some guys would be afraid of their woman with no face.
You look nice. I feel like I'm actually seeing you for the first time.
We have not heard a single compliment come from this man, except for when she took off her heels and he was like, yeah, I'm like a natural woman. Heels? Footwear? Oh my God, just say you like a basic chick, like basic. You like people who are basic. Let me stop. I'm very frustrated with Mitch because this is an excuse. I'm sorry. He's not attracted to her and he's hiding behind the whole, oh yeah, I like somebody who's natural. Why were you attracted to the mama then? Because she does not have a natural look. But that's the story for another day. On top of Mitch being a diva, he's a picky eater.
You know how kids are just picky about like weird things? I'm still like that. I don't like creamy white sauces, so hope you can hang.
I can hang.
You are gonna be your big age, have commitment issues, be a little Karen out here in public, say the environment is my religion, and then you want to have the mentality of a 5-year-old being a picky eater, talking about, I don't like creamy whites and mayonnaise and ranch and everything. Okay, like I get it, but like when you compound it all together, it's too much, Mitch. What an unfortunate name. So from the first episode, I had said that Mitch clearly needs somebody who lives a very particular lifestyle. It doesn't have to be to his extent, but you definitely need to adopt his kind of ideologies when it comes to the environment and stuff because, whew, he is serious about it.
She has to just accept that I am. I was like a closet environmentalist. Didn't want her to be a fossil fuel executive. Okay.
It wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny. And y'all are all smiles and laughs now. And I think it was partly nervous laughter. It's not gonna be funny in a minute. Mitch's family sells that man down the river.
He doesn't want to do what everybody wants him to do.
I think just his pride that gets the better of him sometimes, you know? He'll like lash out or say something that's maybe feels a little hurtful.
I'm worried that he'll hurt your feelings or that he'll piss you off.
Sometimes he can be brutally honest.
This man has not one redeeming quality, not one. He's rude, he's a jerk, he's prideful, Y'all know these are not good things, right? I feel like they're just happy to get him off of their case. Like, they're like, we don't have to deal with him anymore. He's your issue now. We're gonna let you know it's gonna be a hard road, but babe, y'all are married. Hey, not my problem anymore. Not one redeeming quality these people shared. Maybe they did, but production cut it out. Not one. Damn. Then we have Alexis and Justin. Now that Alexis is sober, you know, she's seeing Justin with clear eyes. And she says she's still attracted to him.
You don't want this sticky booty? That's what you're saying?
I love the sticky booty.
No, okay.
Chemistry, the attraction. My wife's everything I imagine.
Lex, this could have been you, but you was playing.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna stick to my instincts on this one. I'm gonna stick to my instincts. I don't buy it, but hey, I did say that I liked that she's leaning in. So baby, lean in. Alexis talks to Justin's family and she basically says, you know, she has a history of having commitment issues. However, the family is like, listen, marriage is not all roses and butterflies.
What happened? What wrong? Like, I had these unrealistic expectations.
You are going to be bored sometimes. Like, how would you combat that?
Now that I've dived into marriage, I feel like I have a different perspective.
It has been a day, Alexis. It has been a day. It does not take 24 hours to completely shift your ideology. It has been a day. Quit the cap, babe. What? You still have commitment issues, and they're gonna show. Don't worry, they are going to show. She also says that she's respectful and can deal with sensitivity. Lies. Lies. Because even if your friends didn't tell us in the beginning that you have a tendency of being uncouth when you provide criticism to people, and you're very critical, we've seen you not be very, is the word kind? It's not that she wasn't kind, but like she wasn't showing that she's a safe space for Justin. The whole like spewing the celibacy thing, just telling him, oh, don't do this, I don't like that. Don't do this, I don't like that. Like, you're not okay with sensitivity. Like you don't exude you don't exude softness, delicacy, like handle with care. I just don't see it. So I had a feeling from the first episode that Justin is a people pleaser. He seems like somebody who just wants to bend and conform to their partner in order for them to feel comfortable. Problem is, you can't do that in life. You need to also advocate for yourself and make sure your needs are being met, which is what the family was trying to get down to, and he couldn't really answer the question properly.
How do you respond in your anger in the heat of the moment, or do you take time to cool off?
I'm the type, I'll cry with him.
How do you plan on advocating for yourself when you need something?
I'm only a pleaser if it's reciprocated.
A people pleaser is always going to please, whether or not the pleasing is reciprocated. So him answering the fact that like, oh no, I only please when it's coming back to me. No, that's not how people pleasing works. And then the brother basically let us know that he tends to be walked over in relationships. The brother was like, you are not ready for this situation. The whole conversation was like, if you guys are in conflict, how would you resolve? Well, I'm a people pleaser. How would you advocate for yourself? Well, I would only please if it's reciprocated. How would you advocate for yourself? Answer the question. He's not going to advocate for himself. On to the honeymoons. The couples get together and they're kiki-ing about their first impressions. Alexis, cap, shares that she regrets ghosting Justin.
So we probably could have been married like 4 months ago if I would have responded. For him to be this perfect, I almost missed out on the greatest thing of my life,
Lies. Because now you had to face the man that you never intended on having to meet. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, I have to differentiate them by color. The black couples are pretty touchy-feely. The other couples, not so much. And everybody hasn't consummated. No one has consummated, but they're all eager.
My man has been celibate for 1.5 years.
Oh.
I've never been celibate on purpose. I just haven't been lucky with girls.
Yeah.
Well, I woke up, excuse my language, but let me say my was so damn hard.
Because, what is her name? Alexis brought up the celibacy. Justin was trying to overcompensate and being like, yeah, I'm celibate, but I like it. I want sex. I like her. I'm attracted to her. Where is this coming from? It makes me feel like, how you doing? And I don't want to say that because even if he was, that's okay. We just need to be forthright with this information. We're not going to have no beards and Married at First Sight. If you don't know what a beard is, go Google it. But I'm just like, yeah, this constant talking about his junk, talking about his sexual urges, but purposely depriving himself I don't know. It's an overcompensation for something. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but it could. Let me not make assumptions. Let me just move on. Stasha and Nate said that sex meant a lot to both of them and that they wanted to wait to have it. However, baby, once they hit that room, the shower scene, I said, oh, y'all know production is still in the room, right? But hey, when the liquor is flowing and, the chemistry is chemistrying, things happen. Morgan and Ben finally get married. They are both COVID negative, and Morgan is excited to be married, and she's like, yeah, I'm looking for my equal and blah, blah, blah. Her people are like, listen, just don't forget, this is not a dating situation. This is your husband.
I need someone who can just be at that same level as me.
You are gonna have to break down your walls a bit and let him in.
She said that people tend to be intimidated by her in the past. If that's the case, why would you lead with, I do this martial arts and this thing and I do all this fitness and I'm strong and I can bend you and throw you and kick you and punch you, and I'm just like, but you're aware that this has put people off in the past. Like, I get it, share your passions and you're excited about it, but babe, maybe not out the gate. I don't know. Her father isn't coming to the wedding. She has an estranged relationship with him anyways. It's not like this is a new thing. And now she's like, oh, I'm independent from that. I only let him know Things that I want to let him know. I don't include him in my life if I don't want to. So she walks herself down the aisle. Before even walking down the aisle, we see Ben saying that he needs approval from his mother, whether or not his wife is going to be here in the long run.
I'm nervous because, I'm looking forward for the day
grandkids. If you talk to her and there's something that you don't like about her, just let me know and we can try to work it out.
Everyday approval? Every day we must get approval from your mother. At what point are you going to start making decisions for yourself? I know a host of people who, when they got married, the in-laws were not impressed at all. But the thing is, as a parent, you need to trust that you have done a good job in raising your child, that they are going to make good decisions, down to the spouse that they pick. And as the marriages go on, they're like, you know what? I like my in-law, my daughter-in-law, my son-in-law. Yeah, because you raised a good person who makes good decisions and made a good decision in marrying this person. Why are you still looking for approval in your 30s? I don't know. Something about that is off to me. She immediately, she being Morgan, was taking charge in the wedding, and she was like, what was it? She was like, oh, hold my hands. Oh, hug me. Oh, like just all this stuff. And I was like, oh, the dynamics are showing already. And then there was a lot of nodding between the two of them. I feel like it was like maybe nerves or whatever. I was going to talk about the vows and all that, but honestly, guys, this video was long and I'm bored of them. So we're just going to fast forward to after the reception, after the ceremony, sorry. Yeah, he's like I can't say that he's like afraid of her, but her bringing up the fighting a lot kind of has him taken back.
So I can still punch you, kick you, throw you to the ground, do all that stuff. Yeah, I can do you right now.
There was definitely a lot of over talking on Morgan's end, and I'm just like, yeah, this take charge energy, she might need to dial it back just a little bit, unless it works for Ben. If it works for them, then that's cool. But if it doesn't, you already know that you have a history of pushing people away by your dominance. Maybe this is the time to be a little bit softer. I don't know, maybe. On to the after party. On the panel this week is Nate, Morgan, and Alexis. Morgan says that she loves that Ben is a mama's boy.
I love my mom. My mom and I have the best relationship, so I really appreciated that.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until he takes her word over yours. Until he's looking for the mom to say green light, and then it's a green light. Okay, you like mama's boys? Okay, sure. I had a little moment of vindication. I'm sorry. I like to gloat sometimes. I had said early on that Ben would be perceived. I didn't say that he is. I said society, he will be perceived as somebody who's more feminine, and that Morgan would be perceived as somebody who is more masculine. Ooh, somebody came from my throat, you guys. Somebody came from my throat. Yet here we have Morgan co-signing exactly what I said.
I usually tend to date guys who are alpha as well. More of like the masculine, I'm gonna get things handled, let me fix your car, We'll see how this goes with Ben, because he doesn't seem like the alpha type.
Even Keisha agreed. Listen, I'm a person who believes that dominance and submission work hand in hand. There's like a pause and play. Sometimes one person is more dominant, the other person just has to be submissive. That's just life. It's not everybody who can be a leader. It's not everybody who can be the headstrong one in a relationship. And unfortunately, societally, we have reduced those terms to masculine and feminine. She's more masculine. He's more feminine. On a societal definition, that is how they're going to be perceived. Come for my neck, why don't you? So Nate touches on the issue of him struggling being a light-skinned person in a Black environment, but he didn't really say much about the actual conversation he had during the episode.
So what's it like watching that back?
We have a lot of chemistry.
How do you feel having this deep conversation?
We were, pillow talking, we were holding hands. It just felt natural, day one. So I'm very, very thankful.
He more so talked about the chemistry between him and Stasha and how great it is that they have these similarities and they're so alike. And I'm like, no. Let's talk about the Black people being savages. Bring that up. What you mean by that? Oh, you got nothing to say now? Okay. Alexis talks about being on the hot seat by Kara, which is like Justin's friend or something like that. And she's like, honestly, it really didn't bother me because at the end of the day, how I relate with him is different with how y'all relate with him. This is very true. I am a different person as a daughter than I am as a friend, than I am as a sister, than I am as a co-worker. So the people's opinion in his personal life do matter. They are just not the end all and be all of who Justin is. Nate talks about the emotional conversation that he had with Stasha's family.
You know, when I started crying, I was like, dang, I can't even get myself together.
You're genuinely connecting with her family.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that it was a good moment of vulnerability for him. However, to me, it just exposed some areas of healing, some areas of reconciliation with his father. So I hope that that's something that he does dive into, because it's gonna show up, you guys. It's gonna show up in their marriage if they are still together. I know there's some spoilers going around that on his YouTube page, he's still rocking his wedding ring. Unlike Miguel, he doesn't fiddle with his ring at all, so I feel like it's something that he's comfortable wearing. Maybe they are still together, but that's definitely gonna be something that he does need to get in check. During the honeymoon segment, they show a clip of Justin's overflowing desire for Alexis, and Keisha just asked straight out, so are you attracted to him or not?
I entered this experiment like everyone else, open to the fact that someone may not be my type.
How'd y'all match on Hinge if he wasn't your type?
He was very, like, you know, picky.
What do you mean?
I don't want to say annoying. He was a little annoying on Hinge.
Okay. She said she thought the matching on Hinge was at first like a sick joke, and then it was like destiny. Cap. I'm sorry. Cap. One, I don't even think they are together anymore. Two, I think she's faking the funk. I'm duplicitous in the way that I feel about her, because sometimes I'm like, okay, I would rather you be this way than just be rude and disrespectful to him. But then I'm also like, I need there to be some transparency and honesty. I don't know, guys. I'm always back and forth, but she don't like that man. She don't like that man. She don't like that man. Last but not least, there's an exclusive clip between Mitch and Kristen having intimacy issues. This surprises absolutely nobody because he does not like her. He's not attracted to her. He's not going to say it yet, at least, but he don't like that girl. He doesn't. He's going to find any excuse to say, oh, well, typically I don't, and maybe and blah, blah, blah. Like, the man hasn't had good luck with women. And I don't think it's just because he hasn't found a good one. I think he pushes people away. But anyways, we will see how that comes to be in the next episode. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.